Good afternoon. Uh, thank you. Okay, so welcome to our webinar for this afternoon. Again, I'm Aaron Sai. I'm a consultant for First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation. For those who don't know First Metro Securities yet, we are the online stock brokerage arm of Metro Bank. Okay, so for this afternoon, we'll learn about one approach, one of the many, no, one of the several approaches that we can use to be our basis uh, to pick stocks in the market. No, so we call that fundamental analysis. So just to give us a good idea about the different approaches that we use in stock picking. No, so maybe we can compare different methods. No? For in this case, when we talk about fundamental analysis. Which is one of the approaches, and the other is technical analysis. When you talk about fundamental analysis, what we're really looking at are these things. No, so when we use fundamental analysis to know which companies to buy, what we are really looking after is are the desirable businesses. Hopefully, those with lots of profits, lots of assets, and preferably manageable debt. Of course, we hope to be owners. No, we hope to be owners of companies steered and guided by excellent management. And of course, although we want all this gorgeous company, no, with those with desirable businesses, those that have been raking a lot of profits and have lots of assets that they can use, no, to further their economic profit in the future, and of course guided by management, by excellent management. We want hopefully to be able to get this shares, no, to get shares of these companies at a good price. No, again, we are not necessarily require getting this beautiful and profitable companies at a cheap price. No, we don't do that. No, we prefer not to overpay for this good for this desirable company. So preferably not expensive. Um, as opposed to technical analysis, when we say of technical analysis, what we're after is to look at the sentiment of the market. No? So by technical analysis, if we see that the stock price is going up, we know that the market is happy about that stock. No, how do we know that the market is happy or the sentiment is positive about that stock? Then we check the stock charts. When the trend, no, when the price action and the trend is going up, we know that that the market is happy about it, and vice versa. No? When the market is in a downtrend, no, just like what we've been seeing since early February this year, no, when the market's in a downtrend, we know that the market, regardless of the fundamentals, regardless how good the economy is, how good the company is, how profitable these companies are, regardless of the fundamentals, but in technical analysis, when we see that the stock prices are going down, we know that the market is doesn't feel good about it, or is sad about what's happening in the market. So during those times, we see the market price going down. Okay, no? So in fundamental analysis, basically the perspective that we are assuming is that of a buyer of the business. No, so that's why we want to be owners of those businesses that we think are desirable. No, so we will discuss later on the characteristics of desirable businesses. No, basically when we say desirable businesses, those are the kinds of businesses, those are the products and services, those are the corporate structure, or maybe basically the businesses that we want to be owning, no, or we want to put up on our own in case we have that much of a capital. Now, of course, when we do fundamental analysis, that's what we are looking for. No? Businesses that have been making a lot of profits in the past and hopefully in the future, of course, guided by excellent management, and preferably we get those shares at a not an expensive price. Okay, so why do we do fundamental analysis? Why do we do fundamental analysis? Again, when we do fundamental analysis, we take the perspective of we're buying a share, we're buying a stock, we're investing in a stock because we want to put our money and want to participate in the growth of the economy, the growth of the company, and basically we want to invest in a business. No, so and when we do fundamental analysis, we know, no, we know that excellent businesses or the businesses that we want should be supported by these factors. No, so again, just to reiterate, when we want to know if the company has a good fundamentals, no, basically, if you find yourself asking, um, if you find yourself asking what could be a fundamentally good business, then this should be your answers. No, they should have the products, the services, that everybody needs, preferably, or everybody desires. No, so if you go to the mall, if you want to buy properties, if you want to buy your car, if you want to somehow maybe take a leisure trip somewhere, no, if you think that the products and services of these companies are the things that people cannot live without, then basically those are the businesses that are we deem desirable. No, of course, the ultimate, no, the ultimate measure of what a desirable businesses is, for investors, really, lots of profits and assets. No, moving forward, we know that the fate of the company and the fate of the organization as whole will be uh, very overly dependent on the acumen and capability of management. Thus, we really require, no, we can say that the company is fundamentally strong if we see and we know, no, that the management are men and women of integrity. They are well respected in the industry. They have promised something in the past that we now know, that they are able, no, to achieve throughout the years, and they, so that when they promise something today, no, for example, you attend a briefing, you attend a stockholders meeting, when they promise something today, that they can somehow, that they do plan somehow to achieve, for example, X% of earnings growth moving forward, then we know we can count on them.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
No, but hopefully we can catch them, or we can buy them at a not expensive price. Okay, so basically, when we do fundamental analysis, we want to answer this question. No? So basically, what you want to know is really, what do you get as an owner of this business? So you're basically demanding something from, in exchange for the price you're paying for a stock. No, so for example, if you are paying for a share in Jollibee at 260 pesos per share, what do you get as an owner of this business? What do you get out of, in exchange for the 260 pesos that you just spent for every share of Jollibee? No? Or what do you get for every 70 pesos per share that you spent for every share of Metrobank, for that matter? What do you get as an owner of that business? Do you get some dividends? Do you get some profits? Do you get to be an owner of a growing company? Do you get to be an owner of a company that sells products and services that people just can't resist buying? No, so definitely, these are excellent or good companies. No, next, they have great products and services? Will sales and profits grow in the future? No, based on their business model, based on the marketing, based on the makeup of their product mix, among others. No, do we think, no, or do we have reasonable? Can we reasonably expect sales and profits to grow in the future? Do they have a lot of assets which they can use in their business? Are they too leveraged? Are they too, for example, do they have the right asset mix that can somehow enable the company? No, do they have the right resources to enable the company to first and foremost to keep afloat, no, during not so good times, and take advantage of what's in front of them, no, during good times, no. Okay. And of course, um, even though we are looking for excellent companies which have been raking out profits, no, of course we want to we also want to know which of these companies are actually giving out some share of those profits to us, no? And again, when we talk about the investor shares or the owner shares, our share in the company's profit, we are talking about dividends. So we are also interested, no, on companies that are paying out dividends, no. So if you have been watching the market lately, if you have been somehow curious about which companies have been somehow weathering this downtrend in the market, you'd be surprised that those companies are those that have good dividend yields. The market has so far preferred, no, the companies that have been giving out dividends. They somehow viewed dividends as some form of a cushion against the bad sentiment of the market. So that's one of the many reasons why we also ask these questions, no, which companies pay out dividends. And of course, again, we can look at the financial statements to look to know what the past are, no, for what the past were for the company. But moving forward, everything is definitely hinged on the capability of management to deliver on their plans and promises to the stockholders. And of course, last but not the least, we need to know, no, if these companies can still be bought, no, from the stock market at a good price. Okay. And again, looking for answers to these questions is basically fundamental analysis. Okay, no? So again, when we talk about fundamental analysis, what we are after is knowing what the benefits that we can get from being an owner of the company in exchange for the price that we pay to get a piece or a stock, a share of that company. No? So fundamental analysis. Okay. First and foremost, do they have great products and services? No? So we want companies with desirable businesses. So how do we know if they do have desirable businesses? From practical experiences, if in your everyday lives, for example, you have to get from your home to the office and back, do you have to pass through it every day? You have no choice but to pass through it. And again, you have no choice but to pay those cashiers and those counters. And perhaps in this day and age, most of the tollways are prepaid, no, in a sense, no. When we get our RFIDs, we essentially, or we effectively give them our money even before we spend it, no. So before, when we travel, for example, in the south or in the north, no, when we use a tollway, we pay for it. And now, even before using it, no, or way before we even use a service or the facility, we have already paid for it, no, through the RFID. So if the company's asset, or if the company's business is something that you cannot live without, no, then definitely that company, or that company has a desirable business. If you believe, no, that SM really got it all for you, then maybe, no, SM, no, is one of those companies that have desirable businesses, no. So again, if you find yourself every payday putting in your calendar that you must have a trip to SM to maybe buy something, or maybe splurge on some restaurants in those popular SM branches, no. So since these companies are paying SM for their rent, these companies are paying SM for as a percentage of their sales, no. So if people keep on spending on those malls, on those department stores, on those restaurants, and in the case of SM, they also have their property arm. If people still continue to buy their condos or stay in their hotels, then definitely SM has the desirable set of businesses. Or in the case of Century Pacific, no, so based on a survey, 8 out of 10 people buy, no, the Century tuna, no, compared to other competitors, no. So if you like businesses, no, if you like the fact that given a choice among the 10 people that pass through a canned tuna section of the grocery, 8 out of 10 of those grocery goers pick up a Century tuna, then definitely you'd consider Century Pacific as one of the fundamentally strong companies in the Philippines. No, if you think owning a school is a good idea, then you have several options. No, so is owning a school really a good idea? Well, practically again, the schools are some of us call it as a cash cows. No, we all went to school. We all know that you cannot graduate without paying. No, so and we all know that the strategies of these schools are really well built to make profit out of their students. So wearing your capitalist hat, wearing your business hat, then you know that basically the business model of schools is really something that is most probably profitable. So if you think owning a school is a good idea, then you'd know, no, you'd know that there are several options in the stock exchange for you to own one or several. Okay. Do you crave? Do you find yourself craving for that thin crust pizza and maybe for the hot chicken and the mojos? No, then definitely Shakey's, no, which is already a listed company, is something that you might want to consider investing. Okay. And if you want a new house, then maybe you have a choice whether you'd like an Adveo or an Avida from Ayala Land, or maybe you might want to stay perhaps in um, in Global Estate Resorts place in Nasugbu, then maybe or maybe you might want to invest in a vacation house in Tagaytay Highlands by Bell, and maybe you want to somehow live in the city or live in the south in a Vista Land property. You know? So if you still find yourself wanting a new home, or maybe your first home, or maybe your second investment home, then maybe the property company is still good business in that sense, no? Or maybe you want to buy brand new wheels. Okay, so then you'd know that the Toyota Motor, no, is owned by GT Capital Group. No, so if you have been seeing a lot of Fortuners on the road, if you have been seeing a lot of Vioses, a lot of Innovas, and now recently a lot of Rushes, no, on the road, and maybe you might want to consider being an owner of the business that have been selling this company, this products, no, and basically this is Toyota Motor Corporation, which is again owned, no, or majority owned by the GT Capital Group. Okay. Next question: will sales and profits grow in the future? No. So after knowing which of the listed companies have desirable businesses, which of these businesses are have been raking profits in the past, and hopefully with the makeup, no, with the organization makeup and with the product mix and with the management, hopefully we can see sales and profits grow in the future. No, so again, we want lots of and growing profits moving forward. So where would the growth prospects of the company come from? No, so for example, when you talk about properties, the likes of Ayala Land Mega World, and Mega World, and maybe Robinson's Land, or the smaller property companies are not just concentrating their development efforts in Metro Manila. No? So we have been seeing these companies buying tracts of land around the Philippines, no, and some of them even venturing into other places like our neighbors in Asia or maybe China, to tap the development of the real estate market in those countries. No? So, for example, for Ayala Land, they have been working on several mixed use development, more like the second, more like the next Makati, or more like the next BGC. They have been developing something around the Cavite area. No? So we know that Ayala have been developing something like Makati or BGC in Cebu, in Davao, or maybe in Iloilo. But closer to home, we have been seeing some developments around Cavite, no? And if you can just see the sprawling estate, no, of Ayala Land and development of Ayala Land in Cavite, and then you'd be convinced somehow that Ayala Land, no, could really record more sales and rake in some more profits moving forward. Of course, Jollibee, no. So another example is Jollibee, no. So we've been seeing Jollibee expanding their store count, no. If you look into their financials, margins are really low, but since this is our more or less a fixed commodity, for the consumers, we can still see them. We can still see sales growing higher moving forward. No, so they're exploring new markets. They have been opening stores everywhere in the globe, actually. No, and not only that, they're opening Jollibee stores. Not only are they opening Jollibee stores in many other parts of the world, but they're also venturing into higher margin products and services. No, so we know that recently that the company has bought a majority, or a big chunk of a U.S. Hamburger chain, and recently they announced that they have talks, or they bought, they bought Team Ho One, for growth in the future, and of course, another example is are those infrastructure companies, so in particular Megawide, so the Cebu Mactan International Airport Terminal 2 just recently opened their doors to international passengers coming off from Cebu. So the feedback has been great. The look and feel of the new terminal in Cebu is really something that even President Duterte has envied. No, he wants one in Davao, for just because it's really nice looking. No, it's really a modern type of a development. No, good thing about this project for Megabyte, they did not only construct it, they also had the contract to operate and maintain it. No, so it was not just a one-time revenue for them. It's not just a one-time sales and income for them, but a continuing, or what we call recurring income for the company. What's good about Megawide? Even if they have already bagged the contract for MCIA, for Mactan Cebu International Airport, they're still keen to bid for those for big ticket, for big ticket government projects. Also, you have your Clark, you have your other airports, and you have your other infrastructure projects that this government plans to bid out to private investors. So from there, from some of these stories, and definitely there are more business growth stories in the Philippine stock market. We somehow get a good feel about those companies that could have more profits in the future. Of course, if we want proof, or if we want to know how these companies have been earning in the past, then we can easily know that from the data. No? So, for example, in this case, using the First MetroSec website, can easily see the earnings trend for companies like Ayala. No? So from 2013 to 2017, the net income Even if you just look at the numbers, run through them, you'd know that they've been growing, no, from 5 years back, no. So from 11.74 billion in 2013, it has grown to 14.8. Then a year after, it has grown to 1763, and so on and so forth. No, so latest 2017, the company from just recording profits or net income of 11.74 billion 5 years back, they have more than doubled it, no, in 2017, and reported 25.3 billion pesos in net income. So if you see those numbers, then you'd have basically a confidence, no, that this company really has something that can allow it to grow its profits in the future. No? So, the latest update from the company, Ayala Land, first quarter 2018 earnings up 17% to 6.52 billion pesos. So news like this, data like this, disclosure like this one, the first quarter earnings really encourage investors, no, that companies like Ayala, or there are companies like Ayala that have been earning in the past, and moving forward, we can still somehow have confidence, no, that they would continue to earn more money in the future. No? So next, do they have a lot of assets that they can use in their business? So again, for this purpose, we look for several things. No, first and foremost, personally, I like those companies. I considered companies that have a lot of cash in their assets, no, as fundamentally sound and strong companies. No, so for example, in the case of this company, Nickel Asia Corporation, if you see if you check their latest disclosure, their latest financial statements, you can see that almost a third, no, 9.4 billion plus 4.7 billion pesos of their assets are cash and almost cash, no, meaning not necessarily cash, but if they want and they need cash, they can easily sell those available for sale financial assets and convert it to cash. No, so if you add those two, 9.4 plus 4.7, and compare to the total assets, that basically comprise around 30% of those total assets. So out of for every 100 pesos of the resources that you have, 30 pesos of which is in cash, then you'd know that this company has the firepower to either keep its business afloat or take advantage of opportunities that might come their way. No? So that's for me is very important. No, they must have a lot of assets, but for me it is a sign, no, or somehow an indicator of strength if they have amongst those asset portfolio of assets, they have strong cash position, so that they can have ready money, no, to spend whenever they need it. No, again, during good times and during bad times. Or if the company has invested this resources, no, you'd like them to be investing their assets or their resources in the right kind. No, so for example, if you look at the financial statements or the balance sheet of SM Prime Holdings, you'd see that half of, or 50% of their total assets, out of the 560 billion pesos total assets of SM Prime Holdings, half is providing steady income for the company. No? So if you're looking at the balance sheet of property companies, you might want to focus yourself, no, or to maybe uh, be particular on the investment property part, and the land and development. No, so if the company has been building up their land and development assets and investment properties, when we say investment properties, this basically are real estate properties that earn money for them. No, so it could be their SM malls, which are earning rent for them. It can be their hotels, which can be earning hotel fees for them, or it can it can be their SMXs, which can be earning well, convention fees for them. No, so these are basically for rent, no, or stable sources of income and revenues for the company. And SM Prime Holdings have dedicated half of their total assets for that particular purpose. So for me, that indicates that this company is has what it takes, no, to maybe confidently earn more profits moving forward. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So next is the company giving out dividends. So how do we know which companies pay dividends? Of course, the edge, no, or electronic disclosure website of the PSE would definitely be your first source of this for this information. So you go to edge edge.pse.com.ph. On the company announcement, you click on more. And then on the template name, if you are only interested, no, if you're only interested in those companies that have declared and paid cash dividends for the past years, no, in this case for the past 2 years, then you type in on the template name field declaration of cash dividends and click on search. No, so the PSE Edge website would display, those companies that have declared specifically cash dividends. So as we know, there are several types of dividends, but as investors, me personally, I am only interested or maybe has a bias on those companies that have been paying cash dividends. So might as well filter only cash dividend payers. So the PSE Edge, upon clicking on search, no, would display those companies that have paid cash dividends for the period covered. No, so in this case, from July 2016 to July 2018. So for the 2-year period. So for example, in this case, no, so one of the companies that have been consistent dividend payer is Globe Telecom. No? So if you click one of the disclosures that have been displayed by Edge, you'd see a window like this one. No? So for example, for Globe Telecom, you'd know that they declared cash dividends specifically for common shares. No, well, we know that there are different kinds of dividends, and we know that dividends can be paid for different kinds of securities. No, so dividends can be paid for common stocks. Dividend can be paid for preferred stocks. No, so if you're buying the common stock of Globe, then you better make sure that what Globe declared dividends for is for the common shares. No, so in this particular case, the disclosure is for the cash dividend declaration for common shares. So the disclosure should give you enough information for you to form an investment decision. And later on, we'll show you how to process those data. No? So in this case, you're given that the declaration is for the common stockholders. It is a cash dividends first, then it's for cash dividends for common stockholder, and the amount of cash dividends is 22.75 pesos per share. Okay, no? And of course, the record date. We'll go to that later. Okay. If you want to know if the company has been giving out dividends in the past, actually you have several options. No, so first and foremost, you might want to check on your online broker. Now, for example, in this case, using the First MetroSec website, you just click on the research tab, type in the ticker of the company you're interested in, and you click on the div history tab. No, so you can see that Globe Telecom has been consistently paying cash dividends in the past, both for common and preferred shareholders. No, aside from that, you can see that the company has been paying cash dividends in tranches. No, so for example, if you can see on the bottom part of the image, no, the company in 2017 has paid not just one 22.75 cash dividends per share, but four. No, so they have for the past several years, Globe Telecom has a dividend policy, no, which tells the stockholder or the prospective investor that the company has approved, no, a policy that they would give 75 to 90% of their core income in the previous year as cash dividends for this year. No, so again, we look for those. If you want to know how sustainable the dividend payment of the company is, you look for you look for a disclosure, or you look for some part of their annual report, or maybe you can ask the company directly if they have what we call dividend policy. No, so again, for Globe Telecom, they are one of the not so many companies that have a policy in place that is telling investors, current and prospective, that they promise, no, that they do promise to give out dividends moving forward. How much dividend? Well, it depends on the income. No, again, dividends are a share in the income of the company. You know, so it depends on the income. The company Globe promises to pay 75 to 90% of their previous year's income in the following year. Okay. And they pay it in tranches. How many tranches? 4 tranches. So whatever cash dividends they declare in February, that's the same amount of dividend that they'll be giving in May, August, and November. So we saw that in 2017. For 2018, so far the company has given 2 tranches of their annual cash dividends per share. No? So they have done with February, they have done with May. So if you ask when would be the next next dividend payment for Globe, then you need only to look at the history. No, last year they gave the 3rd tranche in August. So in this year, 2018, most probably, no, they would give another tranche of cash dividends in August. When would be the 4th? Most probably November. No, so if you think that Globe can earn profit sustainably, at the very least, no, let's just assume, no, that's at the very least they would earn the amount of income that they've earned recently or in 2017. They can continue to earn that much moving forward. Then perhaps we can expect the company to continue giving quarterly dividends at 22.75 per share. No, so 22.75 per share. So how do we know if a quarterly quarterly dividend payment of 22.75 per share is worth our money? No, so again, to get the dividends, no, don't just a reminder, no, to get the dividends, first and foremost, we have to keep in mind, no, of that X date. No, so what is the X date? So the X date is first day, no, the first day that the stock is not entitled to get the dividends. No, so it's the first day that the stock is trading, excluding the right to receive the dividend. So if that's the first day, for example, if in their last dividend payment, the X date is May 16, 2018, no, and May 16, 2018 is a Wednesday. That should be a very memorable date, no? May 16, 2018. Okay, a Wednesday. Then if May 16 is the first day that that Globe shares are trading without the right to a dividend, then your last chance to buy Globe Telecom and to get that 22.75 peso cash dividend per share is the day before, or May 15. Again, if you want to get that 22.75 cash dividend per share from Globe Telecom, and the X date is May 16, then you must make sure, you must make sure that you have Globe Telecom in your portfolio on May 15 at the close of the market. Okay, so if you have Globe Telecom on May 15, 3:31 p.m., Even if you want to sell it on May 16, 9:30 a.m., doesn't matter. You'll still get the dividends. Okay? If you want to get the 22.75 cash dividend per share from Globe Telecom, you must have it in your portfolio at the of the day before the X date. So that would be May 16. So for example, now for example, let us assume that the third tranche of the cash dividends for Globe Telecom for this year would be on August 16, no? August 16, 2018. So August 16 would be a Thursday, no? So just extrapolating it from what they did in 2017. So for example, the next 22.75 peso cash dividend per share from Globe Telecom would have an X date of August 16, 2018. So again, checking on the calendar, August 16 is a Thursday. If you want that 2270, want to receive that 22.75 cash dividend per share from Globe Telecoms, then you must make sure that you have Globe Telecom in your portfolio. Again, this is an assumption that they would give the third tranche on August. They would have an X date for the third tranche on August 16, 2018. Okay. Then you must have Globe Telecom 3:31 p.m. on August 15. Okay, or a day before the X date. Okay, so why would you want to receive that 22.75 cash dividend per share? How do we know is it if it's worth our investment? So again, if you want to receive the cash dividends per share, then you have to be an owner of the business. No, you have to own Globe Telecom stock. No, so for you to own that Globe Telecom stock, you have to buy it. No, for you to buy it, you have to pay for the stock price. No, so first and foremost, if you want to get that dividend, you must have it a day before X date. Next, don't forget that the dividends that you just saw in the dividend history part of the online broker data, and of course the disclosure from PSE Edge are gross amounts. No, in the Philippines, dividends are taxed at 10%. Okay, so given those, what we want to know to decide whether the dividend, the 22.75 or 22.75 times 4, since it's an annual cash dividends per share, is worth our investment in Globe Telecom, then what we want to know is what we call the net dividend yield. No? So what is a net dividend yield? Well, basically, you compare the amount that you receive vis-a-vis the amount that you paid for to receive that dividend. So what you will get are the dividends, but only 90% of it. No, so why? Because 10% is withheld, no, as tax for that cash dividends. You compare what you'll receive vis-a-vis or versus the stock price that you paid for that to get that stock and to get that dividends. No, so in the case of Globe Telecom, if we assume that moving forward, Globe can still earn as much money as they did last year, and if their dividend policy is still in place, and they still give 22.75 cash dividend per share quarterly moving forward, so that would amount to around 22.75 times 4. 22.75 times 4 would be around 91 pesos. 91 pesos times 90% would be around 81 pesos and 90 centavos. So you'd be receiving 81 pesos and 90 centavos for every share of Globe Telecom that you have in your portfolio. But then again, for you to receive that cash dividend per share, you must pay today 1,665 pesos, since today that is the stock price, or at least as of this screenshot, no, that's the stock price for Globe Telecom. No? So if you compare what you will receive vis-a-vis what you paid for to get that benefit, then that would amount to around 4.91% net. No, so again, if after arriving at this figure, then you ask yourself, where else can I get at least 4.91% net interest, quote unquote, no, interest, quote unquote, for my money? If you have if you can find other investment that can give you more than 4.91% net, again, no emphasis on the net, no. Some investments can give you more than 4.91, but if you take out the taxes that should be deducted, for example, for fixed income or bonds, they could most probably give you more than 4.91% interest. But if you take out the tax, which is 20% for those kinds of investments, there's a chance that they would give less than 4.91% net. Okay, so if you can find other investments that can give you 4.91% net, quote unquote, interest for your investments, then you might want to put your money in those other investments. But if you have searched around, then and you found nothing that can give you at least 4.91% net, then maybe investing in Globe Telecom or buying Globe Telecom at 1,665 pesos per share is a good idea for investment for you. Okay. Next, has management shown capability that they can deliver? No. So again, we require excellent management to be at the helm of the business. No. So how do we know if they are excellent? Well, most part of it are based on familiarity. No. So good thing about the Philippine market, most of the bigger and better companies are managed by familiar people. No, most of them from familiar families. No, so we are not really that difficult to. It's not really that difficult to evaluate them. But then again, if you want to get to know them, if you want to be familiar about them, then maybe you can read about them, attend stockholder meetings, maybe attend investor briefings, or attend their public forums. No, so just you can get to somehow listen to them and somehow gauge, whether this with this board of directors or management team really have what it takes, to really stir this company or guide these companies to greater heights moving forward. Okay. Last but not the least, of course, is if you can still buy the stock at a good price. So again, we don't require that we buy cheap companies. No, I mean we don't always require. We don't always require that we only buy bonds. No, most of the time, if the market is somehow um, rational, no, they would probably not give you excellent businesses at a discount. No, so most of the time, the market would probably sell you at par or more than par, or at a premium. Companies that have been making money, a lot of money in the past, and if they know that these companies would make more money moving forward. No? So in that case, we don't really require that we only buy cheap companies. No, but then again, if there are times in the market like what we've been experiencing now, no, that the market has provided us some opportunities to get quality companies at a fairly cheap price, then we take that opportunity. No, but then again, just to complete the picture, just to complete the context, no, in stock market investing, we don't really buy prices at when it's still falling. No, so we wait for the turn. No, but knowing which companies are worth our bottom picking, no, knowing which companies are worth our perhaps courage, no, to pick up when the dust settles, no, and I think I'm of the opinion it's not yet settled, no, it's already half bottle one, no. So again, we don't require cheap, but we prefer cheap, but we require it to be not expensive. No, so maybe at fair value or a little above fair value, but definitely wouldn't want to buy expensive shares. No, because we view the premium, no, the extent of it being expensive to be the measure of the risk that we might be having holding that stock. No? So if you were able to buy these stocks at a premium price, then maybe when the market has again come to its senses again, and maybe when the market has turned bearish or negative or pessimistic, then the premium, no, the premium valuation for this stock might not endure, no. So in that case, you might get stuck holding an empty bag. No? Okay, so for example, in this case, no, one of the popular measure that we use to somehow gauge if the market is overpaying for the stock is what we call the price to earnings ratio. No? So it's the PE, or the price to earnings ratio. What's PE? It's the price, no? It's the price that you've been paying, that the market has been paying for every peso of profits or earnings that that the company is producing. No? So for example, for SM Prime Holdings in 2017, for every peso of earnings that SM Prime Holdings reported to the market, the market paid for it 39 pesos. So for every peso of earnings, the market paid for it 39 pesos. No, so in 2016 it paid for it 34.39, and so on and so forth. No? So on the average for the period 2013 to 2017, we saw the market paid for every peso of earnings of SM Prime Holdings at around 29.53 times. So on the average, 29.53 times. If we check the current PE ratio of SM Prime Holdings, in this case, I'm using the Bloomberg app, which is free for download for your smartphones. You can check easily the current valuations of these companies. So if you check the valuation for SM Prime Holdings using the Bloomberg app, the current PE ratio is at around 36.97 times, or for every peso of earnings of SM Prime, the price today is equivalent to paying 36.97 pesos for every peso of earnings. So if that's the case, then it is at a premium, compared to the 5-year average of 29.53 times. Today, the market is paying 37 pesos. On the average, the market has only paid for it at around 30 pesos. So from that standpoint, we know that the current price of SM Prime Holding is somehow expensive. Okay, expensive. Compare that to what we saw in Ayala Land. So again, using the same metrics, price to earnings ratio. If you get the 5-year average price to earnings ratio for Ayala Land, that would be around 27.98 times, or 28 times earnings. So for every peso of earnings of Ayala Land, the market has been paying for it on the average 28 pesos. Okay. Then again, we check the current PE ratio. It's at current price, the market is only paying for every peso of earnings of Ayala Land at 20 pesos. Okay, so for the past 5 years, they've been paying for it 28. Now they're only paying for it 2021. So from there, we know that Ayala Land is currently cheap. Okay, so, or Ayala Land is currently at a bargain. So that's why we somehow have a good feel about Ayala Land. We saw early on that earnings have been growing. We saw the recent updates and first quarter 2018 that the company was able to grow their earnings for at double digits, high teens, and now we are seeing that on the average in the past. The market has been paying every peso of earnings that they've been producing at 28 pesos, and now at current price it's only equivalent around 21 pesos. Then we know that it is a bargain. Okay, and from there you make your investment decision. Okay, so in summary, we do fundamental analysis to somehow gauge or somehow help us answer this question. So if we do fundamental analysis to know if the company has great products and services. We want to know if sales and profits can be expected to grow in the future. We want to know if it has a lot of assets to use when needed. No, again, during bad times and during good times, do they have what it takes to stay afloat? Do they have what it takes to take advantage or seize the opportunities that might come their way? Um, Preferably, we want companies to be giving us cash flow. No, so we want companies that can give us our share of their profits. No, and again, we call that dividends. And we just evaluated how we can say that a dividend is good enough, no, or not in that case. Okay. If management can deliver, and of course, last but not the least, we want to know if we can still buy the stock at a good price. No, so again, just a good price. But if the market gives you the opportunity to get these shares at a cheap price, then that would be a lot better. Okay. Um, in case you're having some difficulty in evaluating companies, no, or maybe somehow you want to be more guided, no, which of these companies based on the criteria the criteria of the business that you'd like to own, then maybe the First Metro Securities can help you. So if you are a client of First Metro Securities, then you must know by now that this information is available for you. So just in case, for the benefit of those who have not yet realized this benefit, no, in the First MetroSec website, under the research section, we have a great report there. We call that the stock screen. No? What is the stock screen report? The stock screen report basically gives you our picks. No, this is updated weekly. Our picks um, based on a certain criteria that you might want to look at. No, so for example, if you're a type of an investor that prefer those companies that are well established, no, they have been there for a long time, that people know them, people use their products and services, they are reputable, and among others. With sustained profitability in the past, they have been raking in money, no, and in the future, no, we still expect those companies to earn more profits moving forward. Then you might want to consider those companies that are in this screen. No, we call this the riding momentum stock screen. No, so well-established companies with sustained profitability and high earnings expectations. So you have a choice already. No, so for example, in this case, among the stocks that are included in that portfolio is SM Prime Holdings and Miguel Corporation, and we know that these companies definitely fit those criteria. If you're the type of an investor that prefer to get cheap companies, no, or we call the value play, no, stocks that are undervalued by the market but able to provide high return to shareholders. They're very profitable, but currently the market has not been very kind to the stock and which is reflected in the stock price. No, we think, no, through the stock screen, the value play, that these companies can basically give us a bang for the buck, no? So a value play at that for the market. Okay. If you are the type that prefer, no, those companies that have been giving out good dividends in the past and expected to give good dividends in the future, then you might want to check out, no, those companies that appeared, no, in the yield seeker portfolio. No, so if you check this portfolios amongst the model portfolios, this is basically the most outperforming amongst the portfolios. No, most probably, again, maybe the market has taken the stance that maybe this stocks that have been given good dividends in the past could provide them somehow a shield, no, from a bear market. So a high dividend yield. Aside from stock price appreciation, these stocks can generate above average dividend yields. And last but not the least are those unloved. No, they're still generating high earnings, but basically they're not they are unwanted by the market. No, so we measure being unwanted by the price to earnings ratio. The EPS, or the earnings per share, is still growing, but the market is not is not willing to pay for that earnings growth. No, so basically low price to earnings ratio. So if you want to venture on those companies, then you might want to check out those companies that are included in the unloved portfolio. Okay, yeah. If you want to learn more, of course, um, you can check our website firstmetrosec.com.ph. We are proud to be a recipient of the again no we are proud to be a recipient of Finance Asia's Best Broker Award for 2018. No? So we had this in 2017, and now we are again thankful and fortunate enough to get the Best Broker Award for 2018. No? So when you go to firstmetrosec.com.ph, you can click on Attend Our Seminars button, or if you want, you can check our calendar of seminars. So from Seminars, Promos, and Publications tab, you can click on Calendar of Seminars, and then it would lead you, it would lead you to the calendar of events that we have in First Metro Securities. No, so some of the current investor and prospective investors have busy schedules, so don't worry. Now we have a lot of seminars for you. We have a lot of learning venues for you, which just choose at which location, and just choose which schedule fits yours. Okay. For July 2018, I together with our other market consultant, Mr. Sandy Giles, and the First MetroSec team are in this learning venues. No, so we have the basic education and stock trading in Makati City. We call it the best, the basic education and stock trading. If you want to invest in mutual funds, we have the Mutual Funds 101 seminar. I personally conduct the Guided Investor and Fearless Trader Learning Series. We call it the GIFT. It's a more advanced seminar for fundamental and technical analysis. If you are one of those who are somehow lost, as we saw in the previous slides, we can make decisions basically just by looking at the data that are readily available from us from the website, but somehow you haven't found it because you haven't maybe comfortably navigated the website, then maybe this seminar is for you, to maximize the function of the website. So website navigation, and of course the GIFT learning series. For our dear overseas Filipinos, this is the first time that First MetroSec would be going to you. So in September, we are very excited to join our OFWs in this places. So in September 22 we'll be in Amsterdam. In September 23 we'll be at The Hague, Netherlands. In September 24 we'll be in Brussels, and from September 27 to 29 we'll be running a series of seminars in Doha, Qatar. So we are really very excited in this initiative, and we are really looking forward to, of course, sharing our expertise, our perspective, and our tools, our tools to further the investment activities of our modern day heroes in this location. So hopefully we can see you there in our road shows. For all other concerns, if you have questions about opening an account, you have questions about seminar schedules, you have questions about your account or how to navigate the website, if those are just short questions, you can just shoot an email to our friendly customer service, through customer service at firstmetrosec.com.ph. Of course, we have a very good presence in social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Viber, and YouTube channels. We recommend that you follow our page and in Facebook. We post a lot of our activities in our Facebook page. You might want to check them out, especially if it's near your area. No, so recently we were well, it's a normal day for First MetroSec to be everywhere most of the time. No, so we're in Davao, we're in Cebu, we're in Batangas, we were in Makati. We were everywhere. No, so you might want to check our activities, no, our schedules, so that maybe you might benefit, no, from the learning venues that we are to conduct, no, in your place and in your time. Okay, and of course, last but not the least, no, we encourage everybody to take advantage of this. For me, I really consider this as a gem. No, not many do offer this kind of an update. No, so First Metro Securities is available in Viber public chat. No, so we share with you what we share to everybody. No, so I think these are valuable insights, snippets of market moving news that might guide you through the day. All right. So with that, thank you very much for listening. I hope you learned something new and useful for today. And I'm excited to hear your questions.